Hi y'all, this is the tour of your sewing machine. This is a Husqvarna Viking Opal 650 and it's a really lovely machine, and I'm very excited for you guys to get to learn how to use it. It's a very nice machine, kind of top of the line, and not many schools get to use a machine of this caliber, so I'm excited to show you. Let's start with the easiest part first. The easiest part is right here. So on the back right side, you're going to find two cords. One goes to your foot and one goes to the power. And then of course you've got your on and off button right there. The machine takes a tiny second to turn on and then it's ready to go. If for some reason your machine doesn't turn on or your foot pedal doesn't work, check those cords first. Coming up the side, you're going to see something called the hand wheel. Now I want you to watch right here as I move the hand wheel. You're going to see that the machine moves up and down. So the hand wheel actually moves the needle up and down. I'm going to come up here and open the lid, and underneath the lid you're going to see a bunch of stitches that you can do. And then right here you're going to see your bobbin spindle. The bobbin spindle helps you wind thread onto your bobbin. So in essence, it takes thread from your spool and puts it on your bobbin for you. I'll show you how to do that later. So there's a bobbin spindle. Right here we have our thread spool and caps. There should be two caps, one and two right there, that holds your thread on there. So it's your bobbin spool and caps. Then as we go through the machine, you're going to see that you've got a metal piece right here and then little cracks that your thread can go in. Those are called your thread guides. So your thread is guided through in those crevices right there. This button right here is called your tension. So what that controls is how tight your thread is being pulled through the machine. Now we want some tension to be throughout our fabric so that our stitches are nice and even. If there's no tension, the thread gets really loopy. But we don't want it to be so tight that your thread scrunches your fabric. So that's your thread tension right here. This is a really cool feature that not many sewing machines have. It should be set to 5, same with your tension, unless you're messing with the machine for a specific outcome, and that's okay. But this is your presser foot pressure. This controls how heavy your presser foot is put down. Okay, so if I go all the way up to 1, it kind of goes down nice and neatly. It's very easy to go up and down. Please don't do that. I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. If I go all the way up to 9, listen to that. It's way harder. So it presses down on the fabric a lot stronger. And you would mess with this just because you might have different textures of fabric that you need to either lessen the pressure or tighten the pressure. It kind of depends on the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to move our computer. There you go. So now, ooh. Okay, so down below, you're going to see your needle that goes up and down with the hand wheel. It also goes up and down with your foot pedal, and I'll show you that in a second. You're also going to see your presser foot right here. That's what we raised and lowered. That's going to hold down onto your fabric. Underneath the presser foot is something called your feed dogs. Now, if I move the hand wheel, you can see right here that these feed dogs are moving. They're actually going back and forth, back and forth. What those do is they grab your fabric and pull it through for you, so you actually don't have to push the fabric. You're also going to see right here something called your thread guides, or your needle, not thread guides. What you're going to see is so right here what you're going to see is something called your needle plate, or it's also known as your throat plate. And I'm sorry for the shaky camera, but you can see that there's numbers on there. That's going to help you keep a straight seam allowance. Will help you measure and sew accurately. You're also going to see your bobbin case right in here. This is where your bobbin fits in when you go to sew. And also, you're going to find your bobbin cover that just gets placed on top right here. Okay, there are a couple other features I'd like you to see, and I'm going to turn. There are a couple other features I'd like you to see, including your backstitch button, which can be found here, your needle down button, which can be found here. When you push it, it just makes sure that your needle goes down. You can also work with your speed. If you're scared of going too fast, you can bring down your speed so that the top max speed that your machine goes is much slower. So if you're working on something delicate or you're nervous, you're welcome to change that. Here we have our info display, and there's a lot going on here, and so I'm not going to show you too much. The main thing I want you to see is that you can change your stitch length right here. This is your stitch length. So right now it's set at 2.5. If I want to do something called basting and I want my stitches to be super long, I'm going to bump it all the way up to 6.6 or 6.0, excuse me. So that's our stitch length. I can also change my stitch width. So let's say that I was working with a zigzag design and I wanted the zigzags to be really, really wide. Watch as I make my stitch length wider. It can go all the way up to 7. So that's my stitch length and stitch width. This is called your foot pedal. It's really confusing because we call this the presser foot and this the foot pedal, and I mix them up all the time. I don't mean to, but this is what makes the machine go besides the hand wheel. First of all, I need to have my presser foot down, but once my presser foot's down, I can push down on the presser foot with my, This is called my foot pedal. This actually goes below my foot and is run by my foot, much like the gas pedal. This is called my pedal, my foot pedal. Much like the gas pedal of a car, it makes the machine go just like that. And the last thing I want to tell you about is your presser foot lifter. So that goes right here, presser foot lifter. It raises and lowers your presser foot. The best thing that you can do is slip your hand through the middle or around the outside to raise and lower it. The worst thing that you can do is try to come over the top and try to find it, because oftentimes what happens is you go like that, and that's not great for the machine over and over.